abuse of power by law enforcement, whether it's constable's office, sheriff's office, or MPD. And I think we want to emphasize that you would provide that leadership and hold them accountable, and it better be a very serious issue before using a taser. Maybe more training is needed. So I think it is a great point, and it's a huge need in our community. Someone steps up and takes a leadership role on that.
And then you have the other incident of in an elementary school, and this was in precinct 1, which was a constable's deputy who yanked a mother out of her vehicle and threw her to the ground to the point that her dress came up and her panties were being exposed at the elementary school. That was a deputy constable. And principal, another school official, and some other parents said, hey, can I please just pull her skirt down because I can see her underwear? And he said, you step back or I'll arrest you for interfering with law enforcement.
Yeah.
So
I think providing that leadership, the direction, and expectation levels of high-handling situations, de-escalate them, is the message. I think that resonates with everybody. We know there's a problem. I've been on juries where it was a traffic issue at JP's jury, and people are really frustrated with law enforcement because of this. I think this is what gets to everybody. This is the nerve.
So we lead by example, and then actually have some conflict resolution and try to diffuse the situation and deal with people, as adult to adult, not parent to child.
And provide a leadership and a role model that's not there.
Good morning. My name is Robert Love, and we're here with Michael Cargill. We're here at the George Washington Carver Library, and we've been having a meeting with some community leaders about how to improve safety in the community. There's been a lot of issues regarding law enforcement recently, especially in the central Texas area. There's been a lot of violence going on, and we would like to see changes in that. Michael Cargill is running for constable, and he wants to make those changes in the constable's office to set the example for law enforcement around central Texas to help improve relationships between the citizens and law enforcement.
Good morning. My name is Michael Cargill, and I'm running for Travis County Constable Precinct 2. This morning I met with the community leaders to discuss how we can improve law enforcement in Central Texas and community-based solutions to rape and violence. Now, we all agree that the community-based policing is the solution. And in order to improve law enforcement and prevent violence, we must look to the community for answers. Empowering communities and making them stronger is the best way to prevent violence. And a strong and educated community and a safe community. Now first, as law enforcement, we must acknowledge that law enforcement, by its very nature, is reactionary. And most of the time, law enforcement shows up after a crime has been committed. Now, when seconds count, the police are minutes away. So crime and violence prevention truly requires a community-based solution. As constable, I want to do 3 things to improve the community: safety and prevent rape and violence. Now, increase education. Law enforcement and safety experts should be educating the community on how to stay safe, especially vulnerable populations like young women, now the elderly, and people who suffer from domestic violence as well. Improve relations between law enforcement and the community. Now, right now, many Central Texas citizens are afraid of law enforcement, especially minorities. In order for law enforcement to be effective in preventing violence, they must have a working relationship with communities and citizens, rather than one based upon fear. And equipping the citizens, I think that's very important with the tools that we need to stay safe. This includes not only educating the people on how to stay safe, but also giving adults pepper spray to protect themselves in emergency situations. As constable, I want to train citizens how to stay safe and distribute free pepper spray to the community to help keep communities safe. You may be asking, why am I running for constable's office and why am I so passionate about community safety? Well, back when I was in the military, I got a phone call by way of the Red Cross that said there was a family emergency and I need to come home. And I went home to find out that my grandmother decided that she was going to travel back to school to further education. My grandmother only received a high school education, and she wanted to get a college degree at 70 years old. So she went back to college, she started college, and as she was traveling from a college library on her way to church this one particular day, my grandmother was sitting at a bus stop waiting for a bus to come. And a guy came along, mugged her, and raped her. And I decided at that point that I would make sure that every female, especially every female in my family, would have the tools they needed to protect themselves. And so that's why I started the situation awareness programs, that I've started today. And I also wanted to leave you with some safety tips to help keep you and your family safe. A couple of those things are, use your alarm system. I think that's very important in our community. We have situations where people actually break into the back of your home by going into your doggy door. Secure that doggy door and also use that alarm system. And a lot of our homes in Austin, we have two-story homes. And the alarm system is only being monitored on the first floor of those two-story homes. I encourage people to put sensors on the second floor of their homes and make sure that's being monitored by an alarm system.
Ask any questions, please go ahead.
How would gun safety or gun usage play into your role as constable for the rest of the public?
Well, as far as that and the constable's role, we would leave that up with the legislature, to deal with regulating and all that stuff. We would enforce the laws that we already have on the books as being constable.
Would it be something that you suggest for people that are your constituents?
No, I wouldn't suggest anything. I would not. I would suggest pepper spray, and I suggest this whistle.
What about the criticism that this runoff has been largely focused on attacks instead of the issues?
Well, we're focusing. My campaign is actually focusing on protecting our community. We're focusing on community outreach and a community police-based system for our citizens.
But it seems like what your accusations about cocaine and then also his accusations about your previous detainment or arrest have kind of been the things that have been highlighted so far. Can you respond to that?
No, we're actually staying pretty focused and pretty positive, and we're focusing on protecting, all the citizens of Travis County, and actually working with our, community leaders. We're working with the different homeowners associations and to give them safety tips on how to protect themselves while they're inside and outside the home.
A lot of people might not know how the constable's office can help them. What would you do to make sure that they understand what you actually do?
I would actually open up the constable's office so that way they can come in and see what we do on a daily basis. I would do ride-alongs with the community. I would reach out to the schools, the elementary schools, middle school and high schools, and work with those kids and try to bring down the truancy rate that we have here in the county.